Have here the evolution of management theory, the graph. So we have here on the before 1940s, we have the scientific management, followed by the administrative management, and followed also by the behavioral management and management science. And right now, 2000s, we have the organizational environment. So what is the difference between these different management theories? Let's discuss it. Hello everyone, how are you? So I hope you are all doing well and great. So for this discussion, we will going to have our discussion regarding the evolution of the management theory. Okay, so let's start with this topic, evolution of management theory. So first of all, we have here a scientific management theory. When we say scientific management theory, this is actually the modern management that is began in the late 1900s. So organizations by that time were seeking ways to better satisfy customer needs, and also machinery was changing the way goods were produced. Managers had to increase the efficiency of the worker task mix. By that time, guys, we have the so-called job specialization. I hope you already discussed this on your PIE, on your Principles of Industrial Engineering topic, or rather subject regarding on the history. As far as I know, this has been discussed there. So job specialization, during that time, Adam Smith, which is one of the well-known economists, 18th century economist actually, found firms manufactured pins in two ways. The first one is to craft, so each worker did all steps. So from first step up to the last steps, one worker does it in a group or in a set or batch of products. And the other way is by the use of the factory wherein each worker specialized in one step. For example, we are doing notebook. Okay? Iba yung nagka-cut, no? Iba rin yung magko-compile, and the third worker is the one who will include the spring, or kung hindi man spring, yung magtatahi mismo. So, you are having your specialized job wherein, ito lang yung gagawin mo maghapon, paulit-ulit, and nakukuha mo yung mastery. That is what the factory setup is doing. That is what we call the job specialization. And by that observation of Adam Smith, he actually found that the factory method had much higher productivity. The second way is actually producing more output. Okay, so each worker became very skilled at one specific task, just like what I have said before. Because ikaw ba naman, gawin mo yan 8 to 5, di ba? So, mamaster at mamamaster mo talaga, and lalo na iisang trabaho lang ginagawa mo paulit-ulit, no? That is job specialization. So breaking down the total job allowed for the division of labor, we have here the evolution of management theory, the graph. So we have here on the before 1940s, we have the scientific management, followed by the administrative management, and followed also by the behavioral management and management science. And right now, 2000s, we have the organizational environment. So what is the difference between these different management theories? Let's discuss it now. Okay, first one, let's start with the scientific management, of course. Scientific management is actually, one of the proponent of this scientific management is the Frederick Taylor. I hope you still recall who Frederick Taylor is from your PIE subject. So, Taylor defined this scientific management late 1800s. So, scientific management is the systematic study of the relationships between people and tasks to redesign the work for higher efficiency. So again, the purpose is to redesign the work for higher efficiency. We are always opting for higher efficiency and also, of course, effectivity. Okay, in this scientific management, Taylor sought to reduce the time a worker spent on each task by optimizing the way the task was done. So take note of the term optimizing. Industrial engineering is actually well known in the idea of optimizing, wherein we are maximizing all the valuable resources and minimizing all the non-value added activities, non-value added things, non-value added resources. Okay, so we have here the 4 principles of the scientific management. The first principle is that study the way the job is performed now and determine new ways to do it. So here, on the first principle, we are gathering our data, different details that is used in the time and motion study. So I hope you are having some idea na with the time and motion. Anyway, this will be tackled on your work study and measurement subject for the second year. And this is actually one of the core tools na ginagamit ng mga IEs, especially sa manufacturing industry. And dito kilala ang mga IEs sa time and motion study. So, under this first principle also is we try to different methods to see which is best. So, inaaral natin ano yung current na job and we are determining mga bagong methodology kung paano gawin yung mga job na yun ng mas madaling paraan and of course, mas magbibigay sa atin ng mas magandang output. For the second principle, we have to codify the new method into rules. The method that has been formulated on the first principle must now be codified in our second principle. So, under this, we need to teach to all workers. Okay? So, third principle, select workers whose skills match the rules set in step 2. Because new methodology is nonsense if yung pinili mong tao is hindi naman siya yung fit para doon. Diba ba, kung babalikan natin yung konsepto ng engineering management on our PIE subject, staffing. One of the core concept of management is staffing. Tamang tao sa tamang trabaho and tamang trabaho sa tamang tao. So, ayun yung sinasabi ng third principles to increase efficiency. Again, select workers whose skills match the rules set in step number 2. For the last principle of the scientific management, we need to establish a fair level of performance and pay for higher performance. So, dito na papasok yung COMBEN, no? Compensation and benefits, wherein workers should benefit from higher output. Mas marami kang output, mas quality, bukod sa quality, yung quality and quantity, no? Mas maganda yung quality, mas maraming output, the better. Mas okay yung pay mo, mas higher pay. That is the principle of the fourth principle rather. Okay, so itong scientific management, of course, hindi naman siya naging perfect talaga 100% upon implementation. Still may mga problems na nag-occur during these times. Pinakauna doon, sabi dito, no, managers often implemented only the increased output side of Taylor's plan, which is yung bandang huli. So, naglaktaw sila nung mga gitna and una. Yun yung naging problem. They did not allow workers to share in increased output. Specialized job became very boring and dull. No, ikaw ba naman 8 to 5 isang gawain lang gagawin mo? Yes, we have there the mastery. Pero darating sa punto na ikaw bilang tao tayo na by nature, nagsasawa tayo. So, nagbo-boring yung mga workers sa ganung setup and workers ended up distrusting scientific management. Nawawala na yung tiwala nila doon sa scientific management. So, workers could now purposely underperform dahil dito na yung punto na madedemotivate ka na, feeling mo you are useless dahil hindi ganun kalaki yung skill mo na naaambag sa organization. You are only specialized in one skill and yet yun lang ginagawa mo, paulit-ulit, boring and dull nga, no? And sabi dito, management responded with increased use of machine. During these times din, no, nag-increase yung paggamit natin ng mga makina wherein mas nagiging madali at mabilis ang pag-create natin ng goods and services if your company is into service. Okay, dito pumasok guys si Gilbreths, yung mag-asawang Gilbreths. So, I hope you already have your idea with this husband and wife, Gilbreth. So, the Frank and Lillian Gilbreth. So, they both refine Taylor's methods. Na-refine lang nila. Hindi nila totally binago, no? Nagdagdag, nagbawas. Nag-refine lang sila. Wherein, may mga improvements silang ginawa sa time and motion studies. So, actually, they are the proponent of Terbligs. Pasulyap lang, no? Terbligs, these are elemental motions na ginagamit natin in the study of motions. Under motion economy, ito, micromotion study. Anyway, papag-aralan nyo ito sa work study and measurement subject, second year. Okay, time and motion studies, one of their refinement, break down nila yung actions into components. Second, they find better ways to perform it. Third, they reorganize each action to be more efficient using turbigs, using different operations chart, using different using different charting. We have their SIMO chart, we have the multi-activity chart, and any chart that those all will be discussed in your work study and measurement class. So Gilbreth also studied fatigue problems, lighting, heating, and other worker issues na madidiscuss nyo naman in your subject na ergonomics. No? So doon nila inaral, sinabi nila na malaki yung impact ng lighting, no, malaki yung impact ng working condition ng worker, yung tamang position when it comes to working. Kasi may mga positions na awkward positions, and it can actually result into fatigue na pwedeng ang mag-e-epekto, wala pang 5, hindi ka pa nakapagbuno ng 8 hours working time mo, nasa kalahati ka lang or more than half ka pa lang, napapagod ka na. So as a bottom line, no, mababa ang ating productivity and efficiency. So that is for the scientific management. We're done with scientific management. Second, let's have the administrative management. So administrative management seeks to create an organization that leads to both efficiency and effectiveness. Ayun, mas okay. Dalawa ang tina-target, efficiency and effectiveness. So efficiency and effectiveness, I hope na-discuss again ito sa PIE, the difference between these two. Wherein, dito sa administrative management, we have Max Weber, na nag-develop siya ng konsepto ng bureaucracy. Okay, so bureaucracy is a formal system of organization and administration to ensure effectiveness and efficiency as a whole of the said organization. So this Max Weber developed the 5 principles shown in the next slide. Ito po iyon. The bureaucratic principles. So a bureaucracy should have first written rules. All rules should be written na naka-black and white. Dahil kapag hindi siya naka-black and white, kumbaga, sinabi mo ngayon, after 2 days, after 1 week, after a month, nakalimutan na yan ng mga workers. So, walang paalala. And doon, maraming pwedeng nagiging cause din siya ng problema. Pero wala ka naman sinabi, hindi niya naman in-inform na ganyan, blah, 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 blah. Kasi nga, that is not written. So, written rules. Next, hierarchy of authority. We should have a proper flow of authority from top to bottom. So, fair evaluation and reward. Here, dito mapasok ang compensation and benefit. It must be fair to all employees as much as possible. And of course, if there is a reward, there is also a punishment. Okay? Pag may mga mali na nagagawa, and kapag may mga tama naman na hit yung quota o exceed pa, there must be a corresponding reward. That is, ito yung sinasabi ng pangatlo. And lastly, we have the system of task relationship para mag-work tayo in synergy, no? So every task must have their relationship with each other, and dapat continuously na nagpo-flow siya, continuously siya na nagwo-work para okay and efficient and effective yung sistema. Okay? Now, the key points in bureaucracy is that authority is the power to hold people accountable for their actions. So there must have the authority. Now, positions in the firm should be held based on performance, not social contacts. Hindi yung ito kakilala ni ganito, ito kamag-anak ni ganito. Maraming ganyan up to the time natin ngayon, up to this modern times, marami. And it should be based, sabi sa bureaucracy, it should be based on performance, not social context. Next, position duties are clearly identified. That's why we have this job description upon applying sa HR, di ba? Binibigay agad nila ano yung trabaho mo, ano yung job title mo, ano yung job description mo. So, it must be clearly identified para hindi tayo magkaroon ng problema sooner or later. People should know what is expected of them. Para alam nila kung ano yung ina-expect ng management sa kanila na skills or na service, no? Alam nila yung kung naibibigay ba nila, ma-assess nila sa sarili nila if ever nabibigay nila yung pangangailangan ng organization from them. Okay, next we have the lines of authority. Actually, this is connected with the first one. So, lines of authority should be clearly identified. Who is your boss? Who is your head? Who is your subordinate? No? So, workers know who reports to who para wala tayong bypass. Okay? Next, rules, standard operating procedures, and norms used to determine how the firm operates. Sometimes this lead to red tape and other problems. Kaya nga sabi kanina, di ba? Rules should be written. And we have here also on this management theory, the Henry Fayol, which is a French mining engineer, mining executive, author and director of mines who developed a general theory of business administration that is often called Fayolism. This Fayolism, guys, ano kinalaman naman nito ni Henry Fayol sa discussion natin with administrative management theory? So, we actually nag-develop siya ng mga principles na makakatulong sa administrative management wherein 14 po ayon, no? So, here is the 14 principle. First principle, division of labor allows for job specialization. So, kung papasinin niyo nauulit, no, yung scientific management, nadadagdagan, nag-evolve. That's why our topic is evolution of management theory. Ito kasi yung division of labor, almost same with job specialization before. Ito rin yun. Allows for job specialization. Fayol noted firms can have too much specialization leading to poor quality and worker involvement. Bakit naging poor quality and worker involvement? Poor quality and worker involvement. Kasi nga, specialized siya sa iisa. Firms noted can have too much specialization leading to poor quality and worker involvement. Ilipat mo yan sa ibang department. Ilipat mo yan sa ibang process. Hindi niya na alam. No? So, mababa yung involvement. Hindi, dito lang ako nasanay eh. Ito lang ang gagawin ko. Yun yung sinasabi nito sa division of labor. But still, it can be good, it can be bad, no? Depende sa iyo. Mamaya, papag-usapan natin yung management approach naman pagdating naman sa behavior ng tao. Nasa administrative side pa lang tayo. So, authority and responsibility. Fayol included both formal and informal authority resulting from special expertise. And the third one is the unity of command. By the way, this authority and responsibility almost same sa bureaucracy. There must have the proper flow of commands from top to bottom. And of course, connected ito sa number 3, unity of command. Employees should have only one boss. Hindi dalawa, hindi tatlo. Kung sino lang yung pinaka-head mo, doon ka lang sumunod muna. If ever na yung head mo, meron pang head sa kanya, hayaan mo na yun. Na kung ano yung sabihin ng head mo, yun lang. Only one boss. Yun yung sinasabi ng unity of command. Para hindi tayo malilito. Dumarating kasi sa punto, no, na sa organization, napakadami. Akala mo, isa lang yung boss mo, pero napakadami acting like a boss. Tapos tuturuan ka ng ganito, ganyan, ito gawin mo, ito gawin mo. Ang dami, hindi mo na alam kung sino yung susundin mo. Wherein, yung mga sinasabi nila, conflicting sa isa't isa. Sabi nito, gawin mo to. Sabi nito, wag mong gawin yan. Sino talaga? No? So, you should have only one boss. The management should assign only one boss per person or per worker. That is the unity of command. Line of authority, a clear chain. Ito yung pagpapasa-pasa ng command. Line of authority. Dito sa unity of command, kung titignan nyo, halos pare-pareho, pero may proper distinction dito. Unity of command, dapat isa lang yung boss mo. Line of authority, a clear chain from top to bottom of the firm. From the CEO down to the production supervisor, to the line supervisor. So, that is the line of authority. The fifth one, centralization. The degree to which authority rests at the very top. So, kung ano yung sinabi ng pinakamataas, yun ang masusunod. Centralization. Now, for the sixth one, we have the unity of direction. One plan of action to guide the organization. Actually, this is the reason why we have the planning. We have the short-term plan, we have the medium-term plan, and we have the long-term plan. Including sa short-term plan, yung mga weekly plans, monthly plans, and quarterly planning natin. Siguro, kung isasama nyo yung 1 year, pwede na siya pumasok sa medium. No? And anyway, madidiscuss natin yung planning sooner or later, no? Sa mga next na video presentation natin, sa mga next na meetings natin. So, sinasabi lang dito sa unity of direction, let's add here doon sa plano ng organization as a whole, no, sa strategic plan, no, that is the right term, strategic plan of the organization as a whole. 7, equity. So here on equity, the idea is to treat all employees fairly, in justice and respect. Pantay na pagtingin, no, walang nakakaangat, walang nakakababa, pantay-pantay lahat, equity. Number 8, order. Each employee is put where they have the most value. Again, tamang tao sa tamang trabaho sa tamang tao. 9th principle, initiative. So, encourage innovation. So, you encourage your employees to innovate something if medyo magaling sila. So, let them do the work, and as long as the as long as the output is being met, as long as the quality is still na meet nila yung proper quality, pasok sa tolerance, go. Pero yun, i-encourage natin sila to innovate kasi mamaya sa theory X and Y na discussion natin, malalaman natin ano yung purpose ng employees, bakit minsan dapat at kailangan din natin silang pakinggan. So mamaya madidiscuss natin siya. So for now, let's have our 10th principle, the discipline. So, obedient, applied, respectful employees needed. So, we must all have the discipline. And I hope, alam nyo na to, no? Dapat, very self-explanatory, discipline. For the 11th principle, we have the remuneration of personnel. So, the payment system or the compensation and benefits contributes to success. Dito nga papasok yung mga rewards and incentives. If ever na magaling yung performance nila, the performance is outstanding, nalagpasan yung quota, ang taas ng efficiency, ang ganda ng KPI or the key performance index nila. So, you reward them something. It can be a reward of financial reward, additional percentage from their salary, or it can be a token of appreciation, it can be a certificate, it can be a trophy, a medal, o kung ano man. No? So, that's it. So, mas maganda, it can be promotion. That's the 11th principle. Number 12, stability of tenure. So, when we say stability of tenure, this is actually a security of your job. Long-term employment is important. Sinasabi ni Fayol dito na mas magiging loyal sa'yo yung tao if ever naramdam nila na mayroon silang safe na job and secured na job in your organization. So that is the stability of tenure. That's why we have this regularization. In corporate world, no, around 6 months, if okay ng performance mo, you can be regularized. Iba nga lang sa government. Pag natin pag-usapan sa government, napakahirap ma-regular sa government. So, that's it, no? The stability of tenure. So, for the 13th one, general interest over individual interest. So, the organization takes precedence over the individual. So, dapat hindi individual interest ang lumalamang sa general interest para mag-work ang organization as a whole. Yung iba, no, individual interest ang umaangat versus sa general. And kapag ganun, it can have a conflict na pagdating sa achievement of your company vision and mission statement. Now, for the 14th one, we have the esprit de corps. Again, this is read as esprit decor. This is actually the sharing of enthusiasm or devotion to the organization. You must be passionate with your job. You must love your organization. So, for you to be able to have the harmonious relationship together with other employees and other workers inside your organization. So that is what the spirit decor means. Now, we're done with administrative management. Let's move on now with the behavioral side of management. The behavioral management theory. Now, when we say behavioral management, this actually focuses on the way a manager should personally manage to motivate employees. Again, focuses on the way a manager should personally manage to motivate employees. Now, we have here si Mary Parker Follett. So, Mary is an American social worker, management consultant, philosopher, and pioneer in the fields of organizational theory and organizational behavior. So, actually, along with Lillian Gilbreth, she was one of the two great women management experts in the early days of classical management theory. So, ano yung meron dito kay Mary Parker? No, si Mary Parker, yeah, of course, influential leader during this managerial theory, early managerial theory. She suggested workers help in analyzing their jobs for improvements. Ito yung binabanggit ko kanina. Dapat paminsan-minsan pakinggan natin yung empleyado kasi sila mismo yung nandoon sa operation. Mayroon silang idea, alam nila kung paano i-improve yung job nila dahil nga sila yung mismo nag-ooperate. So, hindi lang tayo na nasa management side yung papakinggan nila. Sometimes dapat kumingi din tayo ng inputs nila dahil baka pwede na mas maganda yung ma-share nila sa atin na for improvements. So, the worker knows the best way to improve the job, just like what I have said before. Now, if workers have the knowledge of the task, then they should control the task. And not to control, not they can also control the task, but rather, they can actually help for improvement. Dahil alam nila yung pasikot-sikot doon sa specific task na yun. Ayun yung sinasabi ni Mary Parker dito. Now, we also have here the Douglas MacGregor. So, Douglas MacGregor is a famous management professor in the field of personal development and motivational theory. So, he is best known for his development of the Theory X and Theory Y, a leadership theory on two different leadership styles. So, what is Theory X and what is this Theory Y? What do you think is the difference between Theory X and Theory Y? Okay, so Theory X and Theory Y. Basically, Douglas MacGregor proposed the two different sets of worker assumptions. Pag sinabi natin Theory X, this theory assumes the average worker is lazy. Tamad yung worker. Dislikes work, ayaw niya ng trabaho, no? Wala siyang gana, and will do as little as possible. Ito yung nasa utak ng management regarding the worker. Okay? Now, dahil ito yung assumptions, no, pagdating sa worker, managers must closely supervise and control through reward and punishment. Closed monitoring ang management dito. No, kapag umangat ka sa ganito, ito yung target, umangat ka, may reward. If hindi, may punishment, may kaltas sa sweldo, hindi pa papasukin ng ilang araw kung may ganun mga silang ruling, pwede yon, no? Or mababa yung performance, walang increase, pwede yon, no, as punishment. That is for Theory X. For Theory Y, the assumption here on this theory is that workers are not lazy. Hindi sila tamad, no? Gusto nila ng good, they want to do a good job. Gusto nila mag-perform ng okay, ng maganda with the organization. And the job itself will determine if the worker likes the work. So, dito ang mindset ng management. Hayaan mo na siya magtrabaho. Yung kapag maganda yung output, then gusto niya yung ginagawa niya. no, ano natin siya, gawin regular, no? O, parang ganyan. If hindi maganda yung output, ibig sabihin, ayaw niya nung ginagawa niya or hindi niya gusto yung ginagawa niya. Hindi siya pwede magtagal sa atin. Doon lang yung management magde-decide by that time. So, that is the theory. Why? Sabi dito, managers should allow the worker great latitude and create an organization to stimulate the worker. So, dito hindi siya closely monitoring, hindi siya close supervision. Kung paghahayaan mo lang siya, no, si worker. Medyo maluwag itong theory Y. Now, we have here the summary, no? Ginawa ko siya na summary. Theory X, employee is lazy. Managers must closely supervise. So, in Theory X, create strict rules and define rewards. Sa Theory Y, employee is not lazy. Ayun yung assumption. Must create work setting to build initiative from the worker. No? To improve, to create something, to innovate, and to provide authority to workers. That is for Theory Y. Now, we have here William O. Chi. Here, Dr. William is actually an American professor and author in the field of business management, best known for identifying a style of management which he termed Theory Z. Hindi pa pala tapos. May X na, may Y pa, may Z pa. No? So, we're Dr. William na Theory Z. Ano naman itong Theory Z? William O. Chi researched the cultural differences between Japan and USA, the United States of America. And on his research, USA culture emphasizes the individual, and managers tend to feel workers follow the Theory X model. Yun yung nakita niya, no? Sa USA culture, sa American culture, more likely Theory X ang ina-apply ng mga management. While in the Japanese culture, Japanese world, corporate world, expects the worker committed to the organization. They are expecting that the worker is passionate with their job. They are expecting that the worker is loyal with their job. No, they are committed to the organization first and thus behave differently from the American workers. Ayun yung sa research ni Dr. William. No, for the Theory Z, this actually combines parts of both the USA and the Japan structure. Managers stress long-term employment. Long-term employment, again, security of tenure, yung regularization, yung you will feel safe dahil meron kang panghahawakan trabaho, no? Months or years from now, pakiramdam mo at alam mo na meron kang trabaho, hindi basta-basta mawawala sa'yo. That is the security of tenure, long-term employment, work group, and organizational focus. So, those are the characteristics of Theory Z. So, more likely combination of Theory X and Theory Y. Now, for Theory Z, for Ochi, Theory Z focused on increasing employee loyalty to the company by providing a job for life, like what I have said before, with a strong focus on the well-being of the employee, both on and off the job. According to Ochi, Theory Z, management tends to promote stable employment, high productivity, and high employee morale and satisfaction. So for me, personally, I like this Theory Z because I believe that there's no such thing as best way of management talaga. It all depends on who the management are, who are the workers, what is your product, what is the field of your business, the nature of business, and many other factors. So, that's why hindi ganun kadali talaga si management. Yes, madali siyang pag-aralan, pero hindi ganun kadaling i-apply in real world. Okay? So, we're done with behavioral management. Let's now move on to management science. Now, management science is actually a rigorous quantitative techniques to maximize resources type of management. So, quantitative techniques meaning before you create your decision, mayroon kang basis. Ano yung basis mo? Numbers, data. That is your basis. And actually, management science is one of your major subject when you go sa third year nyo. That is the so-called operations research. So that is operations research 1, operations research 2, and I'm one of those professors handling that subject. Okay, we here in the management science, we have the quantitative management that utilizes linear programming, different modeling techniques, simulation systems, different algorithms. So here we believe that all things in this world, especially in the corporate world, is actually following some specific algorithm, and we are basing our decision in those quantitative methodologies, in those quantitative techniques. That is the management science theory. So we also have here the OM, or the operations management, which is a techniques to analyze all aspects of the production system. You have your production system subject around 4th year. And the TQM, or in your curriculum, that is the quality management system, QMS in your subject. This is actually one of the branches of management science that focused on improving the quality of the goods and services that your corporation or your organization is offering. Lastly, we have the MIS, or what we call the Management Information Systems, wherein this actually provides information about the organization. So, in layman's term, this is the database, of, or the system, technical system that actually consolidates all the data and information regarding your day-to-day operation. That is for management science. Lastly, we have the organizational environment. Now, with the organizational environment theory, considers relationships inside and outside the organization. The environment consists of forces, conditions, and influences outside the organization. Sinasabi dito na pagdating sa management, hindi lang dapat inside yung inaaral. Hindi lang inside yung pinapakialaman natin. Given the fact na we have here actually the external factors that is affecting our organization. So therefore, dapat pati yung labas inaaral natin, and ginagawa natin ng paraan, sinasaalang-alang natin with our decisions, with our managerial decisions. Now, systems theory considers the impact of stages. What are those stages? The input stage, the conversion stage, and the output stage. When we say input stage, acquired external resources. So, yung mga nakuha natin from labas, papasok pa lang sa ating organization, that will be the input, and it will actually be processed going into goods and services. Ayun po, yung tinatawag natin na conversion stage. And the last stage is the output stage, wherein finished goods are released into the environment. So, the whole cycle, ayun yung tinutukoy ng systems theory. The whole cycle, yung kabuuan. No? So, systems considerations that an open system interacts with the environment. A closed system is self-contained. Closed systems often undergo entropy and lose the ability to control itself and fails. Kaya nga laging dito, sinasabi dito na aralin mo rin at isaalang-alang mo rin yung mga external factors, yung labas. You must be an open system. Parang ganun, no? And synergy. So, if you are an open system, we can perform a synergy. Performance gains of the whole surpass the components. So, synergy is only possible in a well-coordinated system. No, gusto ko dagdagan ng term na well, dahil a well-coordinated system is actually a system that is working hand-on-hand efficiently. No, that is it, the synergy. Now, the organization as an open system, we have here the input stage or the raw materials going into conversion stage wherein gumagamit tayo ng machines, ng human skills, and any other things, processes, and systems to convert specific input into an output, wherein yung goods and services natin is palabas na ibibigay na natin sa customer natin. And the sales of outputs, firm can then buy inputs. The proceeds of our goods and services can actually purchase another input, then siya na naman yung papasok sa conversion stage, then output, then paulit-ulit lang. No, this is the organization, the modeling of the organization as an open system. Okay, now, we have here the contingency theory. If you recall our graph before, wala siya dito, no? Wala dito yung contingency theory. Bakit kaya? Now, actually, the reason is that when we say contingency theory, this actually assumes that there is no one best way to manage. Just like what I have said before, walang best dyan. No, pwedeng yung scientific management, yung best sa organization, yan yung. Pwedeng sa inyo naman, behavioral, sa kabila naman is yung management science. Something like that. No, there's no such thing as one best way dahil this is a subjective study and the environment impacts the organization, the outside force, the external force. You will tackle this on STRAM, strategic management, impacts the organization and managers must be flexible to react to environmental changes. Nasa managers yung tawag dito yung bola, kumbaga, no, sa basketball. Sa manager yung bola, kung paano sila mag-react doon sa mga nangyayari, both internally and externally. The way the organization is designed, control systems selected, depend on the environment. Ito yung assumptions naman ng contingency theory. So, technological environments change rapidly, so must managers. Kung gaano kabilis magbago ang teknolohiya sa panahon natin ngayon, ganun din dapat kabilis mag-adapt yung mga managers ng mga korporasyon. Okay, so bakit? No? Madaling salita, dahil sila yung gumagawa ng desisyon eh. No, sila yung gumagawa ng desisyon kung paano nga ba tatakbo yung organization sa mga susunod na panahon. Nasa kanila yung susi kung paangat ba yung organization or palubog. Okay? So, structures. Dalawa lang yan. Structures when it comes to contingency theory, first is the mechanistic. When we say mechanistic, authority is centralized at the top. This is on theory X. Employees are closely monitored and managed, just like what we have tackled before. Very efficient in a stable environment. The second structure is the organic or the theory Y. The authority here is decentralized throughout the employees. So, mas maluwag, no, much looser control than mechanistic. Managers can react quickly to changing environment. And that actually ends up my presentation, my dear students. I hope you learned something. Huwag pong kakalimutan, those are the evolution of management theory. Kung ano niya, kung isa-summarize natin, no, paiba-iba ang management theory, paiba-iba ang management styles ng mga organization based sa ating mga na-discuss. Well, depende sa takbo ng panahon, nagbabago ang panahon. Sabi nga nila, there's no permanent in this world except change. That's why even in management decisions, even in management styles, we also have this evolution. Not just in technology, not just in science and engineering, but rather in the management field also. Okay, so I hope you learned something from this discussion. See you on our next discussion. Keep safe always. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.